Very good morning. Myself Dr. Ruchi Gupta. Today I'll discuss about the concept of cloud. As I have already discussed in the previous lecture, evolution of the cloud computing and what is the concept of cloud computing. So now today we will discuss about the concept of cloud and what type of models we have to use in the cloud computing. Like one is a service model and another one is a deployment model. So I'll discuss both model in detail in the next slides. So first of all, what is cloud? As we all know that we are using the cloud. In the cloud computing concept, the data and which we have to access from the provider, it is available on the cloud. So what is cloud? So cloud, it refers to the network or internet. It is nothing. If we have internet, so it means your data will be available on the cloud and on the cloud servers. So in other words, we can say that cloud is something which is present at the remote location, or we can access the data or information from anywhere or from any of the location or from any of the time. We can access the information. That is the main advantage of using cloud services. So cloud can provide services of private network, public network, or the hybrid network. So when we are using the concept of cloud, then there is a need of some WAN, LAN, or virtual private network. And any type of applications we can access through this cloud, like email services, web conferencing, customer relationship management. We can access or execute everything on the cloud. So these are the major benefits of using the cloud services. Now, if we are talking about the types of cloud computing, so basically there are two type of models we have to use in the cloud computing. One is based on the deployment and another one is based on the service. So if we are talking about the deployment model, so three different categories come under this deployment model. One is a private model, private cloud. Second is a public cloud, and third one is the hybrid cloud. Similarly, if we are talking about the service model, so the three main categories come under this service model. One is a software as a service, second is a platform as a service, and third one is the infrastructure as a service. So basically these two different models, deployment model and the service model, it play an important role in the cloud computing. So with the help of these deployment model, we can access the services through the cloud providers. And what type of services we can access through these service providers or with the help of these deployment model, these are SaaS, PaaS, or IaaS. So we'll discuss all two models, both the models in detail. So first of all, why there is a need of these models, and what type of functionality we have to use in this models. Both models, one is a deployment model, and other one is a service model, which is also called a delivery model. So both type of models provide us a different type of functionality. So if we discuss about the concept of this deployment model, so deployment model, basically it is, we can say that it is a type of service through which we can access the services from the cloud. So how the cloud is located and what type of how we can access the services, like private, public, hybrid, community, what type of services we can access through the clouds. So they are basically, these are the category of this deployment model. So the first category is the public model. So what is the mean of this public model? Public model or the public cloud, it allow the system and the services to, we can easily access through the general public cloud. Means if we have to access the services through any service provider publicly, so one, we can say it is one of the disadvantage of this cloud, that it is not a secure. Means everything is to be available publicly and anyone can access your data unauthentically. So but if a number of organizations uses public cloud when they have to share their data over the public network. So, it is operated by the third party service provider among the multiple users. Different service providers are available which provide us the facility of this public cloud. One is the Amazon Web Services, it is a public cloud. Microsoft Azure, it is a public cloud. My Google cloud platform, that is GCP, it is also a public cloud facility providers, and IBM cloud. So these are some companies, as I have already discussed in my previous lecture. This number of topmost companies are available that provide us the cloud services like Microsoft Azure, Google, AWS. So these are Amazon. So these are some specific public cloud services which is provided by these companies. Now the second category is a private cloud. So what is the mean of this private cloud? The private cloud, it allow a system and services within the organization. Means if I just want to share my information within my company or within my organization, then in that case I will use the concept of private cloud. That is the purpose is that it is dedicated to a single organization only and host premises by the vendor. So a number of companies provide the private cloud facility. Like if we have seen here some examples, VMware, vShapeware, vCloud, OpenStack private cloud, Microsoft Azure, that is on premises private cloud, Dell EMC cloud for Microsoft Azure stack, Oracle private cloud. So these are some specific private clouds which allow us to access the any type of application or any services within the organization. It means we can say that if we have to compare it with the public cloud, then private cloud is much secure than the public cloud. That's why number of companies who want to share their information in a secure manner, they have to use the services of private cloud. Now the next category is the community cloud. So what is the concept of this community cloud? Community cloud, it allow the service systems and services that is to be accessible by the group of organizations. Means if number of organizations are, they have to communicate with each other and they just want to share their information over the net, then they use the concept of community. Means what is the difference between this private cloud and the community cloud? In the private cloud, the information is to be shared within a single organization. But if I just want to share my information to another organization, then I'll use this community cloud. This is also secure because it is not public for all. It is only, we have to share the information among the organizations which are involved. So it is shared by the several organizations with the common security goals, some security needs, managed internally or externally, it depends on the company requirement. So a number of examples we can say that use examples of a community cloud. Google Workspace, it is one of the example of community cloud that is used by the universities. So university basically use this community cloud to share their information. Government community clouds like AWS, Microsoft government cloud, they have some community cloud between the different organizations, government organizations. Third category is we can use the healthcare public cloud. So it is like Philips Health digital platform, it is a public cloud. Then next category is a research community cloud. So we can exchange their research information among the different organizations. So in that category, you can use the research community cloud. Now the next category comes under this deployment model. It is called a hybrid cloud. So what is this hybrid cloud? We can say it is just a concept. It is nothing. It is just a concept that use the public cloud as well as the concept of the private cloud. So we can say that Hybrid cloud, it is a mixture of the public and the private cloud, in which the activities are to be performed using private cloud with the non-critical activities and perform these by using the public cloud. So, we can say that it is a combination of public and private cloud with flexibility. Means it is not a fix or specific for a single organization, that is use the concept of a private cloud, and it is secondly, it is not much as insecure as the public cloud. So, it will use the concept of public and private both. That is why it is a called hybrid cloud. Now, the number of examples of hybrid cloud which is available, which is provided by the different companies. The first one is a Microsoft Azure plus Azure Stack. It is a hybrid model. Then AWS Outspot plus AWS Cloud, it is a combination of this hybrid cloud. Then Google Anthos, this is also a Google cloud. Next is the IBM hybrid cloud. Next is a VMware cloud and AWS. So, we can say these are the different category of the deployment model. Now, the second category of this cloud computing model is the service model. So, service model basically defines that what type of services, what in terms of application, software or a hardware, what type of application software we have to access through the cloud provider. So, these are called the service cloud facility. So, the first category under this is called software as a service. It is ready to use application, basically services. Second category is a platform as a service, that is tools for the developer, and the third category is the infrastructure as a service. Under this category, we can access the server storage or the virtual machines. Next is the anything as a service. It is another type of service model which include network as a service, business as a service and the database as a service. So, first of all, we have discussed, briefly discuss about the concept of software as a service. So, what is a software as a service concept? This is one of the service model of the cloud computing. So, software as a service, it is a service model that allow user to access as a vendor software on the cloud on the subscription basis. For example, what is the concept of this SaaS? If I just want to access any application, for example, if I just want to access the Google Sheet, that is in one application. So, a Google Sheet is available, I can update any information on the Google Sheet and it will store on the cloud side. So, we can say that is Google Sheet, it is a type of software as a service which is used by the consumer, and who will provide these services? It is provided by the cloud provider and it will manage, it will also manage by the provider only. Consumer will not manage the SaaS services. So, SaaS or a software as a service allow the user to access vendors software on the cloud on the subscription basis. We have to just pay for these services. So, in the SaaS model, the service provider manage the hardware, middleware, application, software and security, and the users can any organization or an individual user can use the SaaS services. They can access the services from the cloud provider, and user from an organization and any enterprise, any type of users can access the SaaS services. So, these are some examples of SaaS services, that is a software as a service. The first one is a Google app. Like online, if I just want to prepare the online managements, Zoho Mail, CRM applications like Salesforce.com, like cloud services like SkyDrive, Google Doc, as I have already give the example of this Google Doc. So, these are the type of SaaS service. Now, we can say how we can briefly describe this SaaS service. It provides a ready to use software applications over the internet on the subscription basis, and user control, it is controlled by the cloud provider only. Consumer doesn't have any control over these applications. They can just access these applications. Examples: Gmail, like Microsoft 365, Dropbox, Salesforce. These are the example of SaaS services. Now, the second category which we have to use in a service model, it is called PaaS. PaaS is a platform as a service, or we can say that if we have to seen here that the first layer is the application layer, second is the middleware layer, and then is the operating or the hardware layer. So, cloud provider is available on the middle layer or operating system layer, and the consumer is available on the application layer. So, cloud subscribers have not any control over the access. So, platform as a service, it is a cloud computing service that provide the development and the deployment. Means, for example, if basically platform as a service provided is basically used by the developers. No, it is not generally used by the consumers, it is used by the developers. So, platform as a service, it is a type of cloud computing that provide the development and deployment environment to the developers. So, in the cloud, it allows the user to develop and run the application without the complexity of building or maintaining the infrastructure. For example, if I am using a Collab, it's a platform, it's a programming platform. So, there is no need to create the infrastructure of my machine. I have to just write the code there and it will be managed by the provider. So, platform as a service, it basically provides the facility to create and deploy the software over the cloud. And it is also a paid service. In this type of service, a user purchase the resources from the vendor, and they have pay as you as go basis and can access over the secure connection. So, PaaS services, it does not require the user to manage underlying infrastructure. We have not managed the infrastructure. For example, like network, server, operating or storage, there is no need to manage all these, and there is no need to create the whole environment. Everything is available on the cloud server. So, PaaS is basically, it is useful for the application builder, development, deployment for the testers. It subscribe are the third party software vendors. So, in brief, we can say that PaaS, it provide the platform with the operating system and the development tools. Database for building and deploying the applications without managing the hardware. User control, user focus only the development and the deployment. They are not bothered about the that how we can manage the infrastructure like hardware, software, etc. Everything is to be managed by the provider. Examples of this platform as a service are Google App Engine, Microsoft Azure applications, AWS, Elastic. These are some examples of platform as a service. Now, we come on the next category of the service model, that is called infrastructure as a service. So, the whole control of this infrastructure service is on the cloud provider. So, infrastructure as a service, it is a type of cloud computing model in which service provider is responsible for providing the whole infrastructure to the consumer, like they providing the server, storage, networking over the virtual interface. We can say that they provide the whole virtual machines to the cloud consumers. In this service, the user don't need to manage any type of cloud infrastructure over their machine, but they has the control over the storage system and deployment applications. So, instead of the user, third party vendors, or we can say the cloud provider, manage the hardware, software and the whole infrastructure components, and they also host the user applications, and they have to maintain the backup facility. Means we can say that everything is to be managed by the cloud provider. It is very useful for the beginners. If they want to use any infrastructure, they can contact to the cloud provider. So overall, we can say that IaaS, it provides the virtualized computing resources like server, storage, or networking over the internet, and the user manage the operating system applications and data, while the provider manage the whole infrastructure. Some examples of this third category of this infrastructure as a service: Amazon Web Service, it provides the facility of IaaS. Microsoft Azure, they have to create the virtual machines, and the Google Cloud Computing Engine. So these are three type of service models which we have used in the cloud computing environment. One is a SaaS, software as a service, second is the PaaS, platform as a service, and third one is the IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So thank you very much.